So my question is, I realize you're a person filled. I guess you have a surplus of 정, and how do you explain that to non-Koreans or Americans? Because sometimes I feel like I also have a lot of 정, but
Yeah.
a lot of people, I can't really express what that 정 is to other people. So how do you kind of explain that concept to others?
Tell them you love them. Really, what it is, right? It's a kind of love. It's a very complicated and beautiful kind of love that you have through hardship and through experience. And it's a bond, because it's not just affection, it's also a bond and a covenant. One of the things that I think is happening in America right now is that there are so many broken covenants, right? We have so many social contracts that are being violated, and when people are so upset, they focus on the fact that somebody broke a covenant, but they forget the existence of a covenant. I expect something from you expect something from me, and then we have an exchange, but we also have a relationship. It's also happening right now in South Korea because you have, for example, I mentioned the elderly poverty. The expectation of so many parents is that if I spend all this money on this child for her education or his education, then somehow this child will take care of me. But of course, right now, in South Korea, you have greater delay of employment because after they finish going to university, the number one preoccupation of most young Koreans is actually to become a civil servant. I don't know if you knew that. And to be a civil servant, you have to take more exams. And these exams take a lot of time, a lot of money, and a lot of delay. And if you get one, your income is actually inadequate to protect your family. So the child tries, right? But then the child cannot take care of his elders. And then so you have half of the elderly in South Korea live below the poverty line. Half. And I talked to an economist and a fund manager when I was in South Korea recently as part of my field work. So I said, well, so John, why? Why is there so much elderly poverty? He said, hagwons. If you take that money of $300 a month, starting at the age of 4, and you start putting it into, let's say, Fidelity, some, Vanguard, some like low, no load mutual fund, then you might actually have an enormous amount of money by the time the child finishes college. And his proposition was actually to not pay for hagwons, to take that money and give exactly half in cash to your kid. And I thought, kind of makes sense.
Good idea.
Right?
Thank you for your time.
Thank you.